And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bub and the Bloom, episode 334. It's BloomBoard season. It's regular season Tuesday night action on Bubba and the Bloom. Got some, we're going to look at some miles per hour. That's the best way I'll put it. For hitters, pitchers, risers, fallers, all the good stuff there. We get some recent news and much, much more. But before we get to that, you can find me on Twitter at BDentric, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, on Patreon at patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. And my co-host, as always, on Twitter at RyanBHQ, Ryan Bloomfield. How we doing, my friend?
Analysis of miles per hour. So we'll be talking about some cars tonight. It'll be nothing to do with fantasy. No, I'm good, man.
It's like going 85 in a residential.
Yeah, not recommended.
Yeah.
I'm good. Had a good long weekend and took the family to Central Oregon for spring break here in Oregon. So we went to Bend for opening weekend. So I was doing fab, racing back home, the road trip to get back and do fab. Such is the life of fantasy obsessed people like us. So doing good. My team's not so much, but I'll just keep telling myself it's early and it's March. Technically, that's still true. We've got a couple more hours left in the month.
Yep, just breathe in, breathe out. Long ways to go. My pitching has been rather atrocious in most formats, but as a whole, we move on and see where the rubber meets the road at the end, and we got 26 more fab weeks to go. So, or whatever it is, keep chugging along there, and improve our teams. But good stuff. I remember, if you guys want to support the show and you liked what you saw on Thursday evening, you get a lot of those cool tools at patreon.com/Bubba Blooms. Come check that out. The weekly planner, the live BloomBoards are up and at them, the minor league leaderboard, and much, much more to keep you in season ready to rock and roll.
Plus your news and notes, of course.
Oh, news and notes, fab article on the weekend.
There we go. Pump your own stuff, not just the tools. Actually, one of tonight's boards is actually directly copied out of the live BloomBoards that's available to Patreon subs, and we're updating it every day. I'm actually going to do a post tomorrow, just kind of reminding everyone that, hey, this has been refreshed for 2026, but the live BloomBoards are pretty sweet. They're up and running. Got to get the Stuff Plus thing working if I even want to. I have a listener question about that, so we'll talk about that later. But yeah, we're moving along.
Yeah, the Stuff Plus one is tough because we don't really know what that entails. So yeah, we are moving along. We have one full trip through the rotations now. Some have already made their second starts, like Logan Webb, or first, depending on if the NFPC or not.
That's right. I wanted to mention tonight,
yeah,
but
so.
Actually, I'll leave him in. He might get the win, not to jinx it.
Yeah, no, he's got the quality start already, so that counts in those leagues, and we'll see where it goes from there. But let's talk about some news and notes before we get to the awesome BloomBoards for tonight's show. Zach Eflin left his start on Tuesday with an elbow injury. He's undergoing an MRI. We'll probably get those results maybe late Tuesday night, if not on Wednesday. They already said he's going to the IL. Dean Kramer will be called up to take his spot in the rotation, maybe pitching Friday. He was supposed to pitch Friday in AAA, so either pitch Friday and move guys back, or he'll pitch this weekend. Time will tell. But Eflin's going to be out for a while, and pretty much any report from the Baltimore Orioles right now looked pretty somber.
Yeah, it was pretty, because actually I watched most of Eflin's start, and I thought he looked really good. Struck out, I believe, 7. He did give up a home run to Ezekiel Duran, which I didn't think was possible, but I thought it looked really crisp. I was a big Eflin guy, especially after spring training when velocity was good. He said he was feeling good and the back wasn't a problem, and now boom goes the elbow, I guess, as they say. So I don't know. I'm going to wait to see, but this seems like a somewhat extended absence and thus a drop if that's the case in non-IL leagues. Yeah. The Dean is back in our lives. Dean Kramer, like you said, could go this weekend. Eflin's next spot in the rotation, according to the starting pitcher planner that it pulls from Fangraphs probables, would be next Monday and would be a 2-step. So let's see. Like, if Dean Kramer slots in this weekend, obviously no 2-step, that would not be. But Zach Eflin would have been in line for a 2-step at the White Sox and versus your hitting San Francisco Giants. So whoever's in that spot, that's a decent 2-step next week. But we'll cover that on Thursday's Fab Preview.
Yeah, we should have more information by then to help you all out on that, because that would make Dean a possible ad, especially in 15s. If
the Dean
is the case, the Dean. Have you It's like the good old Dean Wormer.
Yep.
0.0.
Yep.
Mr. Blutarski. Sorry, one of my favorite movies ever. It's where my single father raised me properly. Showed me that one way too young. So watched that
filmed in
times.
Eugene. Filmed in Eugene.
Yep. That's what put Oregon on the map. Oregon Ducks on the map right there.
Well, they say. Maybe, I mean, the Oregon Trail too might have had something to do with it too.
Yeah, but not as many people got there. That's the downside. We all played the game in school. We all played the game.
Wow.
I remember during
just got us.
I remember during COVID, the ITL guys, we would play. We'd stream playing the Oregon Trail. It was whatever we could do to get some shows done. All right, Cody Ponce, he hits the IL with an ACL sprain. I guess it's the best case scenario from the way it looked on Monday evening when he got carted off the field. It looked like really, really bad. Non-contact injury usually leads to some sort of tear, but this will be an ACL sprain. Still going to miss a good amount of time, according to the Jays. And the problem is they don't have their guys ready. Trey Savage is still like a rehab start or two away. So they're going to be putting together with duct tape and baling wire right now until the guys come back.
That's what I kind of see too. It's like I don't really see an ad until Savage is ready to go. If anything, it's more security for Eric Lauer.
100%.
Yeah, he pitched really well in his debut. I like Eric Lauer. A lot of bad. We talked about teams against lefties and a lot of bad teams out there. So Eric Lauer is, if not, he may be universally rostered. I don't know, but safer in that rotation now with the loss of Ponce, which does suck. Like Cody Ponce, first start as a J, like that's terrible to see.
Yeah, they called up Lazaro Estrada to take Ponce's spot in the rotation.
Right.
He pitched in AAA last year. Okay, strikeouts ratio's not ideal. So we'll see how that plays out for the time being. I am no prospect expert. I would not be running to add him if I had to myself. Chase DeLauder, I got the candles out tonight. So far, so good, but still not out of the woods yet. For the second straight game, fouled the ball off his foot, which we know is a problem with him, as he's been known to have an injured foot problem. He left the game. X-rays were negative, foot contusion. Hopefully, after a couple of days of rest, we're back to reality and back in the beer bet competition.
Yeah, would like to see the beer bet competition go deep into September. Our beer bet is Yordan Alvarez versus Chase DeLauder in terms of total plate appearances. So basically a bet against health. We're not rooting. Maybe we are rooting for people to get hurt for this beer in Arizona, but it
felt like Nestor Cortez versus Robbie Ray all over again. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me this early again?
Well, did you see because the play, to me, it looked like the play where DeLauder left the game. He didn't foul it off his foot. It was like earlier in that at bat.
They're saying it was the foul ball, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I hope he's fine. Hell of a start to the season for Chase DeLauder and Yordan Alvarez, by the way.
Yep, still an extra home run over Yordan Alvarez, but Yordan looks good. Looks real good. That's for sure. Carlos Rodon has had a setback, which is a shame because the bright side, it's not the elbow. He's coming back from the elbow surgery that really removed the loose bodies in his elbow. That's fine. He's supposed to start his rehab. He's supposed to make a rehab start this week. That's been pushed back because while running on Monday, he had a hamstring injury. Got tightened up, so he stopped. He still threw on Tuesday, like played catch and everything to keep stretched out. So I'm hoping this is minor, but at the same time, take your time and make sure he's healthy when he comes back, please.
Yeah, I don't think really anything actionable from this. I think if you're stashing Rodon, he's close enough that obviously this sucks. I agree. At least it's not arm related, the setback. So you just wait and hope that this is the only setback.
If you're in the YouTube chat, just look at the chat. Papa Bloom dropped the nugget that I respect Ryan enough. I will not throw on the screen here. But
speaking of ticket, we talked about a ticket like 10 minutes ago. So slow on the updraw there, but that's okay.
Some positive news. Seiya Suzuki will start a rehab assignment later this week. Should need about a week or so to ramp back up so we can get Seiya back on our live really soon, which should be pretty awesome because I have him in a lot of places.
Yeah, a lot of my squads could use some Seiya in their lives, especially those lacking offense, which is pretty much all of them. So got a lot of Seiya. It sounded like, I mean, this is kind of expected, I guess. It sounded like they were weighing whether to even do an IL or not, and they played it safe, which I think over an entire season, I think that's the right move. But nice to see that wasn't just blowing smoke. Seiya actually seems good, and hopefully we'll be able to put him in our lineup sometime next week.
And then last but not least, Nick Lodolo is going to make a rehab start on Thursday and could return as early as next week for the Cincinnati Reds, which would be amazing as well.
Yep, this was the blister. So just the fact that Lodolo feels good enough, the Reds feel good enough to have that rehab start on Thursday is a great thing. And like Seiya Suzuki, I could use some Nick Lodolo in my life as well.
Yes, indeed. But that'll wrap up our news and notes for the week so far. Let's get cracking on some Bloom boards, a twofer Tuesday evening.
Twofer, just because we're admittedly grasping at straws for any actionable takeaways. I think that's probably the biggest thing I want to convey before we even start diving into these numbers. It's been 4 days or maybe 5 days by the time you're listening to this. There's really not much outside of injury, in my opinion, that is actionable. You see the wild takes out there, the victory laps. Just settle in. It's a long ride. However, we do a Tuesday BloomBoard show every week of the season, and you guys know us. We do not stop. So we have what I like to look at in very small samples is, again, this is just based off one start for pitchers, fastball velocity. How are we looking? How are we tracking compared to last year? So we've got the top 10 and bottom 10 pitchers in average fastball velocity from their first start of 2026 versus 2025. To kind of bring this back from the top, this is an active live BloomBoard that's available in our Google Sheet. I update it every day, so you can track this, and it's rolling 30 days. So you can see average fastball velocity all season over the last month, which is something that I pretty much look at every day and update every day. So we've got that on the pitcher side, and then we will talk about hitters next with maximum exit velocity. So it's a fancy word for just saying what's the hardest ball you've hit. And so what this board is doing is comparing guys who have hit the ball the hardest in 2026 versus any batted ball over the last 3 seasons combined. And there are actually, just eyeballing it, 8 to 10 guys who have already hit a ball harder this season than they have over the last 3 seasons combined, which again, may mean nothing, could mean something. I remember we did a similar show like this, and Bryce Terang was like the subject of our show in the first week last season. And look what happened there. It could have been blind luck, who knows? But those are a couple of the things that I like to look at is are my pitchers dropping in velocity? Are they rising in velocity? Are my hitters like, is someone doing something in a small sample that they've never done before, essentially? And I think that could be actionable for early fab.
Yep. There's again, it's all grain of salt stuff. Bloom boards will mention over and over again. They're the way to open your mind to dig deeper on a player. It's not the go-to end all be all.
Especially these ones. Yep.
Yeah, early in the season, and another ones we were talking about off the air we might throw out there either on the Patreon or another show. Like these are just to kind of make you dig in on things. It's the whole point of a Bloom board. But hey, we talked to one in the preseason. I wrote about the preseason about second half versus first half. Strikeout, swinging strike gainers, velocity gainers. And Randy Vasquez was on that list. And Randy Vasquez leads the way on fastball velocity, folks. In 2025 at a 93.4 mile per hour fastball velocity, averaged 95 in his debut. And it rose late in the season last year. We saw gains in September with Randy Vasquez. So maybe I should have paid attention to what I wrote in the offseason. But then again, I'm like, it's Randy Vasquez.
I know.
Well, Vasquez, yeah. 6 shutout innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 8 Ks against the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers offense that's been pretty good so far this year. Like they're putting up runs more often than not. Randy Vasquez was a rather popular fab target this past week, right? And people bought in right away on that performance. What are your thoughts when you see this this increase, fastball increase for Vasquez?
I mean, it's obviously interesting. I think a pitcher who throws 93.5 and then suddenly upticks to 95, I think that is almost by default a better pitcher. And you look at some of the pitch mix changes. I say like it's been one start, but Randy Vasquez leaned into that faster fastball even more in his first start. So the problem is, I remember in our kind of group chat, Ben Tidd texted us I think on Sunday, and I was either driving back or still on vacation. And he was like, we were talking about Randy Vasquez, and I kind of did the similar thing to you. It's like, no, I'm not touching Randy Vasquez, because he was like one of the worst pitchers in baseball last year, if not the worst, and still could be. But this is the type of thing where, like, you see an uptick in velocity, you see the results, you kind of you don't have time to wait. You don't have, especially in Fab, you don't have time to wait to act on these things. So grab them if you want to start him, maybe, but at least just see what you're working with a potentially new and improved Andy Vasquez. Pitchers nowadays can change so quickly. I think any kind of uptick in velocity like this is interesting, even if it is Randy Vasquez.
Agreed. And he gets at Boston this week, so that might tell us a lot, even though Boston really has struggled to start the season offensively. So maybe he gets a gift there. And then next week he gets the road Rockies. So
beautiful.
That could be a gift if you did grab Randy Vasquez. So definitely something to keep in mind. This one warms my heart right out the gate. Dylan Cease goes from 97.1 in 2025 to 98.6 miles per hour in his debut with the Toronto Blue Jays. He also is mixing up his pitch mix a little bit with the Jays. That's been documented through spring training, carried over once again. Cease had 5 1/3 innings, 1 run, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts versus the Sacramento Athletics. 12 Ks and only 2 walks, like a whip below 1, folks, is what it feels like, around 1, give or take. It was beautiful. What's your thoughts on Cease? Because everyone knows my thoughts.
I think this is just got brought up in the chat. Most importantly, did you see my man's facial
it's
hair
your man now?
situation?
It's your man now? Oh, okay. I see how this is.
He's on my Vegas team. He's the ace of my Vegas team staff.
Yeah,
have you seen his? He looks like Wyatt Earp, but like Wyatt Earp who hasn't bathed in 3 months.
Didn't you hear they're remaking Tombstone? He's going to play the new Doc Holliday character when he's like, yeah,
but like a disheveled Doc or Wyatt.
Maybe it's the sequel to Wyatt Earp where all his family's dead and he's trying to start over and he's just walking through the hayfields and trying to figure out life again.
Maybe he goes on the Oregon Trail.
There you go. Watch out for the dysentery, buddy. It's gonna it gets nearly 50% of them.
This one, I don't know. Like, obviously, it's probably a good thing, but like Dylan Cease has never thrown this hard. 98.6. Can he hold that up over a full season? Do we want him to try to hold that up over a full season? Dylan Cease gets plenty of strikeouts living at 96, 97, which he's done the last 5 years. So this one, maybe he was just amped up for opening day. I don't read too much into it, but he did look damn good. Well, at least the results looked damn good in his debut. Cease himself, I'd say he still looked pretty good, but I don't know. I don't take too much from this one just because Cease is so established. And honestly, I don't even know if I want him throwing 98.6.
Well, it does help. Willie Adames. Oh, that was from earlier. Sorry, I thought you double donged for a minute. It does help when you face an A's team where you got like Kurt striking out 55% of the time and stuff. So that's a bonus. We'll see how Cease does, but I'm obviously still all in on that one.
Yep.
Will Warren. Now we're starting to get to some names that make you think a little bit. Will Warren, 93.3 last year, up to 94.7 when he faced the Giants on Saturday in San Francisco. Got a front row seat to that masterpiece.
Oh, that was the game you were at.
Yep, 4 1/3, 1 earned, but 2 walks and only 3 Ks. So he got the increase, but didn't get a ton in terms of actual, I guess, results like you'd hope for. You'd hope for increased velocity would get you increased swings and miss. At least that's where my brain goes. Right. So what's your thoughts when you see this with Will Warren? Because it's good gains, but I'm just still not sure yet.
Same. It is good gains, but until we see some whiffs, I think that's ultimately the gauge. And I think especially like once we get 2-3 starts, maybe 4 starts into the season, you want to look at the whiffs. I mean, that's probably the most important thing, along with the K rate, to see what's going on there. So Will Warren last year, like a 9.9% swinging strike, not very good. League average on that's like 11.5. And you were there, so you saw him. But if he wasn't getting a ton of whiffs or Ks, like I don't really care if his fastball is up 1.5 miles.
Exactly. Luis Severino, 96.1 up to 97.4 in his season debut We saw him gassing it up in the WBC also. That surprised a lot of people.
Yep.
Most of us thought it was just adrenaline, but that carried over to start with the against the Jays, where 5 innings, 2 runs, but then again only 3 strikeouts in that game. So yeah, it's an increase, but at the same time, it's Luis Severino, I guess.
And that was in Toronto, right?
Yes, in Toronto. Yes.
Yeah. So Severino pitching away from his least favorite mound, gassing it up. I also don't take too much from this one, not to sound like a broken record, but I feel like we know who Severino is. And to me, that's a pretty much, I don't want to start him at home and stream him on the road if I can.
Yeah, it's just the biggest thing. If I'm seeing these increases, I need to see some like swing and miss as well.
Yeah.
Vasquez got that, Cease got that, and Shota Imanaga got it as well. Shota Imanaga, 90.8 miles per hour on average last year. We already were worried about the velocity last year. We saw it tick up in spring, averaged 92.1 in his season debut, where he struck out 7 over 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, but struck out 7 at home against the Nationals. Might have been one of those windy days there in Wrigley, because they've had some. It's been all or nothing weather-wise in Wrigley so far. But it was good to see the velocity carry over from spring and the strikeouts come back with it, because that was the big faller last season.
Yep. A full disclaimer: I'm totally biased. Way too over invested in Shota Imanaga. So
that's putting it lightly, folks.
Yeah. So take all of what I say now with a grain of salt. But this was really encouraging for me. I mean, the velocity, and not just this one outing. The velocity was up all spring, and it's nice to see that carry over into the first start of the regular season. And like you said, 7 Ks. The whiffs were there. It was a 2-run homer to Joey Weimer, of all people, opening weekend legend Joey Weimer. That kind of torpedoed Shota's outing. And that's going to be the case sometimes, right? Shota's a fly ball guy, and you're going to get burned by home runs every now and then if you're Shota. But if Shota can live at 92, like he did his first year in the big leagues, where the skills were a lot better than they were in 2025, I will be very happy. I will be very happy.
Yep. No, it's, if he can live in that range all season and stay healthy, good things to come. Now, here's one we could probably make some reactions to. And if he's still available on the wire, it's a whole other discussion. But Taj Bradley went from 96.2 miles per hour on average last year to 97.4. Nice little bump for Taj. This spring, he looked much better as well. 23 strikeouts and 17 in the third innings for a 31% strikeout rate and a 21.6% K to walk rate, which is the small sample size, but is outstanding. In his first start of the season, Ryan, with that increased velocity, we got to see Taj Bradley. He only went 4 1/3. That is what it is. But 1 run, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts at the Baltimore Orioles. So I said all of that to put into play. We saw the 9 Ks and 4 1/3 in his first start. We saw 23 Ks and 17 1/3 innings in spring.
Yeah.
There's something going on here with Taj. It feels like maybe I'm overreacting to it, but there was once a time when Taj was a guy we all wanted to roster, and it's been gone for so long.
Yep. Yeah. The 3 walks and 4 1/3, it wasn't great, but 3 strikes at a league average rate. It's 36% ball rate in Taj's first start. So encouraging. My thing with Taj, it's always been with Taj. Do we ever know which Taj we're going to get?
No, not at all.
Right. Like if this outing happened in July after getting blown up twice, would you be surprised at all? It's kind of the thing. So I don't know. Like maybe there is something to Taj being in a new org now and kind of having that whole off season with Minnesota and showing the fastball bump. But I don't know. I feel like Taj could next time go out and give up 6 runs and 3 strikeouts and 4 walks like that. I feel like that's been Taj Bradley's career so far.
Well, he's at the Royals this week, which the Royals haven't been world beaters yet to start the season.
No.
So that could be interesting, because he could really get people pumped up for if he does well, but he gets home versus Detroit at the Jays next week. So not the best 2-step, but will be a discussion point on Thursday if he pitches well on Wednesday. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Speaking of guys that we don't know who we're going to get when they take the mound, Jack Flaherty, come on down.
I think we know what we're going to get.
Yeah, we're going to get a disgruntled Discord is what we're going to get. Jack Flaherty averaged 92.9 miles per hour last season, up to 94.1 this year. what we saw in his first start at San Diego against the Padres offense, it really hasn't clicked. 4 and a third innings, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Welcome to the Jack Flaherty experience, everybody.
Yeah. 2 strikeouts, you said?
2. Yes.
2. That's great. Fantastic.
1 for the each, yeah.
All the that's right. Tombstone theme show tonight. I like it.
Love that movie. It's so good.
I know. It's
so
probably
good.
top 5 for me. Honestly,
it's one of those. It's like there's always those shows on TNT or whatever where you can flip through if it's on. Like I'll just leave it on type things. Like okay, we're watching Tombstone again.
Have you been to? So I used to live in Tucson, which is like an hour from Tombstone. Have you
I don't think I've ever been to Tombstone. No, I don't think I have. It'd be nice.
It's actually pretty lame.
Well, most of them are.
You know, everyone dresses up and like, but
yeah, most of those places are. But
if you're a movie, but if you enjoy the movie, it is kind of cool to go once
for sure.
Who the hell are we talking about? Jack Flaherty,
our guy.
I'd rather talk about Tombstone than Jack Flaherty.
That's why we started. That's why we derailed this conversation. Yes.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Because it feels like I'm gonna need a Tombstone if I keep putting them out there. Basically,
I'd rather be tombstoned.
Oh man. So yeah, Jake Irvin. We'll just move on from Jack because it's just it. I have no answer.
We know.
Anymore.
I mean, yeah,
I have no answer anymore. It just last year I think he pitched great against the good teams and horrible against the bad teams. So it was just bizarro world. Yeah. But yes, Jake Irvin. This is another one that I liked him in DCs because I was like, he's like post 500. He's going to pitch a ton of innings. Usually doesn't destroy you. This is who you get. Now we saw increased velocity, went from 92.4 to 93.6 in his debut. 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts against the Chicago Cubs. It's 1 start, but like I'm saying, Irvin has proven he can be serviceable more often than not. So like I don't think he might not be that great. He gets the Dodgers this week. I would not start him against the Dodgers because at Milwaukee the following he's got tough matchups coming up. But it'll be interesting to see how he does against the Dodgers because honestly, the Dodgers haven't really crushed anybody yet. They've been shut down by Parker Messick and a half soft toss and Tanner Bybee on Tuesday night.
This is true, though. Yeah, still would not start that. Still would not touch that start with a 10-foot pole. It's actually interesting. Irvin's velocity has decreased each year he's been in the majors. 94.4 as a rookie, 93.8 and 24, and then 92.2 last year. So it's a little bit of just kind of going back up to what Jake Irvin was last year. Encouraging, of course. You get the 7 Ks, the 1 walk, you get the whiffs, so that is encouraging. But again, I don't think this elevates until we see him hold this velocity, hold the whiffs. If he looks good against the Dodgers, great. I think of Jake Irvin as kind of like a medium end streamer, potentially high end streamer if this velo holds.
Yep, no, he's definitely just a streamer to your point, and probably more in 15s than 12s. But I wouldn't completely write him off. Like if there's good matchups, I wouldn't hesitate to throw him out there.
Yeah,
Jose Soriano, lots of shares here. Went from 97.9 on average last year to 99.1 in his first start. We don't have today's data up there just yet, but in his first start, 6 innings, 2 hits, 4 walks, 7 Ks on Tuesday evening tonight. 6 more shutout innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. So that gives him 12 innings without allowing a run, 6 walks, and 11 Ks so far this season. He has looked very, very good, and this was in Wrigley on Tuesday night.
Yeah, the numbers on Soriano's,
according to MGC, is back to 97.5 tonight.
Yeah, it's 97.5. I'm on StatCast for today, so whatever. May have just been juice for his first start. The biggest thing though is the Ks are there and the ground balls are there, like that, and that's why we like Jose Soriano. Really, for the ground. I mean, he leads. It's not just the ground balls are there. He leads the majors in ground ball rate, or he led the majors in ground ball rate last year. Like it's hard to post a bad ERA when you have a like 60% ground ball rate. So if Jose Soriano can hold last year's velocity, a few more whiffs, you get those Ks to go with the ground balls. Like, yeah, control is going to be an issue. I don't know. Did you say how many he walked tonight? I think he walked 3 in his debut.
He walked 2 tonight. He walked 4 in his debut.
4. Yeah. So the control, I think, is probably still the biggest issue with Jose Soriano, more so than velocity. I actually wouldn't mind him taking a mile an hour off or maybe some better location, but this is why we like Soriano, is the ground balls, and then if he pairs that with strikeouts, that could be a really nice combo.
Yep, definitely. Chris Sale, I don't have a whole lot to add here. We know he's good. He's getting
No,
healthy.
yeah.
I got nothing on Sale. Some of the fallers, real quick. Max Fried going from 95.8 to 94.6, but he dominated the Giants, just dominated the Mariners. I don't think there's a whole lot to take from this one.
No, I want to pull up the velocity, but it'll probably take me too long and be a bad. Oh, no, here we go. So velocity for Max Fried in his start this evening against the Mariners was 94.5. So basically the same as last start and still kind of down a mile an hour. Not that worried. Not that worried.
Mitch Keller, 94 miles an hour last year, down to 92.7 this year.
Yeah.
He did throw six shutout innings without a walk, 3 hits, 3 Ks versus the Mets in his debut. It's the 3 Ks part. Like, if Mitch Keller pitches to contact too much, it's not going to end well.
Over the long haul, it's not going to end well. And there's definitely a thing to be from going from 94 to pumping like 92. That's a big difference. Not saying Keller is gonna hold that, but yeah, I've never been I shouldn't say never. I probably liked Mitch Keller for a couple years there, but the recent versions of Mitch Keller has not been infused with, and that continues despite his good first start on the surface.
Sorry, Corbin.
Yeah.
Kyle Leahy dropped from 95.4 to 94.1. I would say this much. He only had 1 K in his start. He allowed 4 runs. They were late. The first time through the lineup, he looked good. I will say this much, though, that high velocity, he pitched 61 of his 62 games out of the bullpen last year. And we've seen that in the past. The bullpen guys juice it up a little more.
Yep, exactly. And that's we will get to that. Probably our biggest faller is spoiler alert, Reed Detmers. I think that's in play as well, right? Anytime you're going to transition from reliever to starter, we saw it with Jordan Hicks a couple years ago. Your guy, he was a giant, dude.
Okay.
He was.
You're not wrong.
Was he not?
He was for part of a season, and then he got traded. Now he's Martin Sikulski's guy.
Yeah, Sikulski's guy. But yeah, pretty much anytime you've got a transition here to starters, you're going to see a drop. So,
yep. Emerson Hancock, this one's interesting. Went from 94.9 last year to 93.5 in his debut, but his debut was pretty good, folks. It's been well documented throughout anywhere you listen to fantasy sports. Hancock 6 innings of no-hit baseball with 1 walk and 9 Ks against the Guardian with that decreased velocity, but there's a reason for that, Ryan. What's that reason?
Yeah, so as part of these live bloom boards that we have that shows these velocity changes, I also have a rolling pitch mix change chart for the last 30 days. And of course, right, the first 30 days of the season, I'm just comparing it to last year. No pitcher changed his pitch mix the most from last year to their first start of 2026 than Emerson Hancock. So yes, the 4-seam velocity was down, but he mixed in a ton more sweepers. It's basically a new sweeper that looked really damn good. Faded his changeup for it and threw more of those 4-seamers. So really the story was, to me, the sweeper for Hancock. Like, I think that looked really good. And if that's the trade-off, to go to 93.5 with a little better control and a sweeper to pair it with, I will take that. Emerson Hancock could go crazy. Well, was he widely picked up in Fab? No.
He was.
Yeah, he was widely drafted. That's right. Yeah,
he was drafted because people knew he was in the rotation. Right. But yes.
So there's not really much you can do right now, but certainly an encouraging change to his pitch mix, which I think is far more important, at least in Hancock's case, than a 1.5 mile dip in velocity.
Yeah, it could help him stay in the rotation when Logan Gilbert gets demoted. So,
come on, man.
Joking. Emmett Sheehan.
At least you didn't say when Brian Wu gets hurt.
See, grain of salt. Emmett Sheehan, 95.6 last year, down to 94 in his debut. And we saw the Velo dropping in the spring. There was some concerns starting to come out with Sheehan. And in his debut against Arizona, he went 3 1/3 innings, allowed 4 runs in that 3 1/3, still struck out 6, which is nice, but wasn't fooling as many people as you'd hope for Emmett Sheehan. And the consistent decreased velocity is leaving some, including myself, slightly concerned.
Exactly, because it's not just this start, right? It's basically the second half of spring training for Emmett Sheehan. And it's also like, you take a look at Emmett Sheehan's career. I mean, he had Tommy John, came back, what, midway through last season, you would think that like he could even build on the velocity gains or build on last season's velocity, but that has not been the case. And yeah, you pair the first start down Velo with the second half of spring. I am concerned about Mr. Sheehan as well, given the injury history both for him and his team at the pitcher position.
Carmen Blodzinski. Sorry, I heard it's actually Magician Majinski is how you pronounce it. Heard that one from good old Jeff Erickson. Just think magician. It's Majinski. Never would have guessed that without it.
No.
96.1 last year to 94.4 this season. This is a reliever thing. He made 34 appearances last year, 12 of them in the rotation. That leaves you a whopping 22 out of the pen. He still looked good. 8 Ks, no walks, over 4 to third in his debut versus the Mets. I'm just going to say, like I said, I think it's just a bullpen of the starter thing for me.
Yeah, I think so. Still didn't miss a ton of bats and only went 4 1/3. So you still, and 85 pitches. So you wonder, I don't know. You wonder like over a full season how this holds up. So, but yeah, did look really good in the debut against a Mets team that, I don't know, man. Like the top half of the lineup is good, but not too deep. Bottom half's rough.
Especially for the billions of dollars they have sitting around. I got really nothing on Jake Latz. He made the spot start. I think he's a good pitcher. A lot of relief outings last year. Maybe he wasn't fully ready to pitch that day because he wasn't planning on pitching that day. So I don't have much on Latz unless you do.
No, we're good. Could be a strained lat. Could be a strained lat causing the downturn.
It's a stretch. Slade Ciccone. This one I'm kind of interested in here because went from 94.3 miles an hour last year to 92.3 in his first start this season. He went 4 1/3 innings for the Guardians against your Mariners, allowed 6 runs, walked 3, and struck out 5. So Ciccone was like showing some signs last year where you're like, okay, this is a guy we want to stream at least, or maybe even 15s. You're using him more often. Kind of excited coming into early draft season. This is not what I want to see to start the season.
Not at all, especially because Ciccone is already a pitch to contact guy back when he was throwing 94. If you now have that with 92, very worried about Slade Ciccone. Yeah, did not look too crisp against the Mariners in the debut. This kind of backs that up, but also just generally the type of pitcher Slade Ciccone is, relies on good control, but just doesn't get many Ks or whiffs. You drop from 94 to 92, that's a different pitcher and not in a good way.
Agreed. David Peterson, 92.2 to 90, a nice 2.2 mile an hour drop. A guy that we know has command issues from time to time, but usually can get the strikeouts in bunches. The depleted velocity did not happen. 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 walks in that 5 1/3. Somehow had 0 runs against the Pirates, but only struck out 3. So it looked like he avoided the trouble, didn't get a lot of strikeouts. I think that Velo needs to get back up there to have any confidence in David Peterson.
And quick, like we are entering Bailey Ober territory when you're barely averaging 90. That's David Peterson does not have the peripherals to get around a 90 mile an hour fastball. So yes, very worried. Would like to see the velocity. And again, with all these guys, maybe the velocity comes right back. You know, this stuff. This can just be variance. Like we all have days where we feel good. We have days more often than not that we don't feel good. And like, you know, professional athletes, you know, hopefully have more days and feel good than we do. But this is just a 1-day sample. So did want to throw that one out there. But yeah, I would be very concerned if David Peterson sticks around 90 miles an hour fastball.
Agreed. All right. We already talked about hitting now. Switch over to the big boys, max exit velocity, risers, kind of fallers here.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of weird. They're all kind of risers, I guess. But if you just think about it as these guys have either hit the ball harder already, hit a ball. They have hit one ball harder this season than they have it over the last 3 seasons combined. I think that's how you look at it. So even someone who might quote unquote be a faller, so like Alex Bregman's on this list, has his hardest hit ball from 2023 through 25 was 109.6 miles an hour. He's already hit one at 108.3. So like, yeah, he hasn't rise, but it's also hard to hit a ball harder in 4 games than you have in 3 years. So I hope that kind of distinction makes it. These are all, everybody on this list it's probably a good thing, again, in a tiny sample.
Yep, definitely. Going to start off with Angel Martinez at the top here. In the last 3 years, 107.4 miles per hour. So far in 2026, he's already hitting 110.1 miles per hour. He's an outfielder for the Cleveland Guardians, for those that might wonder who. Last year, he had 11 home runs and 484 plate appearances for the Guardians. It was not a great season. Has never really showcased power in the minors. But I bring this up because yes, he's hitting 250 to start the season. He's 3 for 12 without a home run. But in spring training, in 48 plate appearances, we saw 4 home runs and hit 356. Again, it's a small sample, but if we saw, I haven't looked at his spring training StatCast numbers. I guess I actually have those on the page now. So if you give me a second, I can show you. Yeah, in spring training, he had 111.3 miles per hour, which is a massive gain. So the reason I'm bringing him up, because it might be like, well, why? There might be a change here, folks. Like the reason we talked about Bryce Terang last year and we didn't think much of it. And it might be nothing for Angel Martinez, but he showed gains in spring. They've already carried over into the start of the season. There's a world where this becomes a thing, and maybe it's not a 25 home run thing, but in a 15-team league, maybe it's a 15 to 20 home run thing, and this becomes serviceable.
Exactly. And maybe some of this harder contact sticks. Like Angel Martinez has held a decent strikeout rate his first 2 seasons in the majors, so you never know. And again, like with Fab and acting on in-season changes like this, it's better to act quickly, especially on someone cheap like Angel Martinez. And if it doesn't work out, then that's fine. You take your shot and you try and take as many of these different types of shots as you can in season. If a couple of them work out, you're doing well. So my biggest concern, honestly, right now, in terms of like a medium term thing, is just playing time. But that could change if the Guardians see what we're seeing.
Stop.
Like there's,
I thought you were going to go and chase the water. I was like, stop.
No. I would never, Bubba. I would never do something like that. But no, yeah, you hope Angel Martinez gets a little bit more playing time. I think he's only started in 3 of the 6 games. The Guardians have faced all right-handed pitching so far, so let's see what happens. But certainly from an actual like raw skill standpoint, this is interesting to me. This is interesting to me.
He got hit in the knee by Shohei and was on the ground, but I believe he stayed in the game tonight. So
tonight?
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Okay,
but, fastball right off the knee.
Shohei's just destroying Cleveland bats tonight.
Yeah, they just want to take that outfield depth to the core.
Yeah.
Rhys Hoskins, I don't have much. The dude hits ball hard. That's just what Rhys does. It's good to see him. I guess the takeaway is he's got a 112.3 this season. Is a 111.1 was his high the last 3 years. So it's good to see maybe he actually is healthy. He's battled injuries the last few years, and that's a plus for a guy that we've always seen has potentially 30+ home run upside if he plays enough. So that could be in the cards, and he was pretty much undrafted in a lot of draft season.
Hey, not on my Vegas auction team. Took him in reserves.
Reserve rounds?
Yeah. I think that's a good point, though. Like, this is somebody who injuries have kind of derailed Rhys Hoskins' career lately. Has been a 30 home run bat. I think still could be a 30 home run bat. I think just like Angel Martinez, biggest issue right now is playing time. Like for whatever reason, Rhys Hoskins started the first 2 games of the season, then didn't start any of the next 3, and then started on Tuesday. So seems like a part-time player, which is not good. But a full-time Rhys Hoskins, I think, is actually semi-decent corner infielder in 15-teamers.
100%. The playing time is weird, though. Like you said, he started the first couple, then he sat for a couple, and there's really no rhyme or reason. So quite confused on that one. Austin Hayes, he's pretty much in line with previous seasons. I've always liked Austin Hayes when healthy. It's just that when healthy part's the big part. He's already got a home run for the White Sox. So he's healthy for now, is what I'll say.
Just stay healthy. I think Austin Hayes can be a sneaky good 5th outfielder playing regularly. The White Sox are weird this year. I think our king, Curlin called them out earlier with they have just been random with their lineup so far this year. So I probably should stop short of calling Austin Hayes a regular, because the White Sox are doing some weird stuff. But for as long as Austin Hayes is healthy and playing, I think he's an effective 5th outfielder. Agreed.
I have nothing on Miles Straw. I don't care.
I don't
care how hard he hits a baseball.
It's like, this is Miles Straw, and he upped his. He has hit 1 ball this year, and it's already harder than each of the last 3 years. But folks, it's Miles Straw. We know who this is.
But not this guy, Chase
Oh,
Mydroth.
yeah.
Came
You're
in
not
with
going to skip this guy.
107.1 mile per hour exit velo the last 3 seasons. Already has one at 107.7 when he had a moonshot on opening day against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Moonshot. Okay.
Yeah, it was a blast. So, yeah, I'm a big Mydroth fan. I'm obviously playing this up probably too much, but the fact he's hitting the ball this hard shows the power is there, which is all I care about in the end.
Yep. And leading off. So at least 4 of the 5 games didn't start on Monday. It could just be a day off, or it could just be the White Sox being weird. But a leadoff Chase Mydroth. Oh, yeah, I know. I'll say it. Could be actually semi. Bubba's got his ear to the camera right now. For those of you not watching, he's got this eating grin on his face, and it's a lovable face, but not right now. Chase Mydroth, dude, if he goes, if he can have double-digit homers, 15 steals, lead off, get those runs, semi-decent batting average, could be a good call for you. I don't want to overreact, but based off one moonshot, as you call it, but this honestly, this is a good thing for Chase Mydroth.
I think he's a 10 to 15 home run guy and a closer to 20 steal guy. And if he leads off, could score a ton of runs. So
yeah, and hit what, 250, 260? Like he doesn't strike out very often. So,
and he's basically being drafted as a middle infielder or a bench bat in most leagues. So it's a nice situation to have.
Yeah.
Matt McLain, the man that average or his tops was 109.9 in the 3 seasons, probably as the season where he went off because he was gone for 1 season and didn't play much well in 2025. He's already hit with 110.5 in 2026. That's after the monster spring. So I guess he's healthy and carrying over the gains is what I'll say.
Yeah, had 9 barrels this spring in 59 plate appearances, which again, I think this was the Coleman Crow example. So I kind of lectured you listeners to not overreact on Matt McLain. And of course, he's like the best hitter in the majors over the spring. But yeah, I think this is to carry that spring into now hitting the hardest ball of your career already in 2026. That's certainly a good thing for Matt McLain. Playing all the time. Again, just stay healthy. He did last year, 577 plate appearances after a long layoff. So could definitely be something to Matt McLain, who's technically age 26, but like in terms of baseball years, he's really only played a year and a half in the big leagues. So kind of to your point, this could be just another young player taking a step forward here now that he's presumably fully healthy.
Another young player, Kobe Mayo. This is interesting to highlight because, he got up to 109.8 probably last season, even though it was a rough season. Already hit 110.1 in 2026. We saw 111 in spring training. And he had a very strong spring training to kind of force the Orioles' hands, given the Westberg injuries, but it forced their hands to be like, hey, Kobe's going to play for a bit and see what happens. And this is a former prospect that has been injured / not regular playing time. He's right now healthy, getting regular playing time. So it kind of goes with a trend with a couple of these players. Like, hey, this might actually be something that we can tap into. It's been a slow start to the season, but again, it's only like 4 games. So this could be something with Kobe Mayo, something to monitor if you're not on him yet.
Yeah, something to check out. It's interesting. He doesn't have a barrel yet, which tells me that this 110 mile an hour hit was like a ground ball. So that's also something to think about. Like I actually thought about just doing line drive, fly ball, exit velocity, but I still think there is, if you can hit the ball hard on the ground, you could hit it hard in the air too. But yeah, Kobe Mayo, hitting 154 through his first 15 plate appearances without a barrel, without a home run. 27% K rate, which is kind of what he did last year. So you never know. I'm not too excited here just because I think when Westberg comes back, or I guess that's pretty far down the line. If is probably the better thing. Mayo needs to show something at some point here.
Agreed. Nothing to take from this, but just insane that Junior Camanero's actually hit a ball harder this season than he did last season at almost 117 miles.
Yeah, that's a good call out. That's by far the highest of any max exit velo that we've got on this entire sheet. Junior Camanero, 116.9. Good Lord. What a beast.
Yeah, I was looking at bat speed stuff with Ryan before the show, and Camanero had like the best bat speed with the most what they call it, not barrel rate, but contact,
spot?
sweets, whatever. It was just ridiculous what he can do. It just justified my conversation, at least in my brain, that people said it was just the ballpark. I'm like, no, if you swing it and hit it like that, I don't care what ballpark you're in.
You
Like
swing hard and you hit it where you need to on the
yeah.
bat. On
We
the
saw it in the
barrel.
WBC. He was hitting balls way out of the ballpark in Miami. It did not matter. So I think
He's
we'll
a
be
stud.
okay.
Has he gone deep?
I don't believe so. But the Rays as a whole,
I
talking about
know they're pretty.
they actually have been doing like Chandler Simpson. Okay, you want to no? Caminero is hitting 294, but no extra base hits yet. He has 6 walks. They're walking him a lot early on. So, and rightfully so. If you look at that lineup, but I just want to bring this up real quick for the Rabbit games. Chandler Simpson so far is hitting 444 with 7 singles and 1 triple and 2 stolen bases. Like, I'm not a Chandler Simpson guy, but the dude is getting on and running. He's doing his thing so far.
I guess.
Yeah. All right. Nathan Lucas is a little bit of a bump. Johnny DeLuca, he had a big home run the other day. He's a little bit of a bump. Anything on those two guys? As I'm going to scroll through a few here.
Yeah. No, we're good there.
Luis Angel Acuna, we saw it drop, but it's still like almost 110. He was 110.3. It's 109.8. His was more just inconsistent playing time. Like I think he came in late on Monday and stole 2 bases, but the playing time is a mess for what you'd hope for Luis Angel Acuna.
Yeah, only hitting 111, so I think he's 1 for 9 this year, but has only struck out once. So we'll see. Already has 2 steals. I think that's something you can also kind of look at with Luis Angel Acuna is in the rare case that I guess he's probably attempted to steal. He's only gotten on base 3 times all year, and he has 2 steals. So there could be something there in terms of a green light, which is nice. Already has a barrel. So this is actually somewhat encouraging.
Yep, just
in
needs
my
to play.
opinion, it's just it needs to play. This goes back to the White Sox might be our nemesis this year. What are they doing?
Because draft season we loved like drafting White Sox because that lineup looked actually
because they all
good.
played right, and they all played every day.
Yeah, it was young and looked like that's a potential, but now the playing time is like Colson Montgomery's their third baseman all of a sudden.
Right, and someone named Tristan Peters has started 4 games in a row at center field and right field. I don't know.
Yeah, go figure.
No Lennon Sosa, really. Random off days for Acuna, Mydroth, Benny Biceps, Benintendi, Austin Hayes, Miguel Vargas. All those guys have gotten an off day. Maybe they're just shuffling early season off days. But yeah, it's weird.
Very weird. Brady House, who I mentioned on the Fab show as a potential streaming target in deeper leagues or a third base target.
Yeah.
111.5 miles an hour last year. 110.8 this season already. So pretty, it's like a half mile an hour off. On the season, he's hitting 316. He's got the home run, 3 RBIs, a walk, 7 Ks, a couple barrels. Like I'm intrigued by what we're seeing so far because it is a pretty big gain from previous seasons, small samples, but it's he had a monster spring. He hit the ball hard in the spring and played pretty well there. So looks good.
Looks good. And Brady House was pretty much thrown into the fire as a 21-year-old rookie last year. And shocker, didn't do that great. And Washington just kind of, it's like the equivalent of letting a starter just eat it. Like Washington just said, screw it. You're going to stay in the damn lineup and hit 4 home runs and whatever, 274 plate appearances. But I mean, yeah, Brady House, prospect pedigree, just 22 years old. Like, to your point, who's to say can't make considerable gains in his second year against major league pitching? Already has 2 barrels, 58% hard hit, some Ks there, but playing time is safe. I think we can assume that so far, unlike many of these other guys we've talked about.
Agreed. Miguel Rojas, don't care. Alex Bregman, you're going to play him regardless. He had a double dong with the wind the other day. Henry Davis, he's going to start for Paul Skeens. Maybe get a couple extra starts. I want to highlight Roman Anthony. He's a faller, but it's still 112.3. Roman Anthony looks good.
I think he has like a massive K rate, doesn't he? So far, 45% strikeout rate.
That's not good.
It's not good for Roman Anthony. Again, probably does not mean anything, but just throwing that one out there. Not the best start for Roman, but not
45% more shares than I have.
That's true. Same. If you drafted Roman Anthony, you're not obviously doing anything, and I don't even know if you're worried about anything we've seen so far from Roman Anthony. At least he has hit a ball nearly as hard as he did last year. Already has a barrel, so hard contact's been there. It's just the K's are up, so we'll see. Could just be a 4-day cold streak.
Tyler Henneman, the backup for the Jays, don't care. Luke Raley, he had a couple home runs opening weekend, and more importantly, he had a high of 115.4 over the last 3 years. It's already close to 114 this season. I just wanted to bring that up because I don't think people realize how good Luke Raley actually is when he's healthy, at least in a streaming where like Dominic Canzone gets talked about as a streamer, and rightfully so. But Luke Raley can hit the ball hard and run as well. So like he's no joke, as Jason Santu told me on Twitter. Like it's him and Bowers in the Spider-Man meme, and that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I hope he runs more. It was 14 steals, 11 steals in 2023 and 24. Only 2 last year for the Mariners and 219 plate appearances for Luke Raley, but was hurt, inconsistent playing time. Throw him a bone there. Yeah, agree. Luke Raley doesn't get much pub. Everyone likes Canzone because, I don't know, he's Italian, has a cool name, I guess. But Luke Raley's awfully effective as well.
Yes, he is. Last couple of years, Brian Rocchio, 109.6 in recent seasons, 107.9 this year. Still hitting the ball hard, but still, it's like, do you really like? He's good, but he's nothing that really gets me excited.
He's a pull guy. I remember talking on our crossover show with Rob D. Rocchio coming up here, so he's actually batting against Edwin Diaz right now with 2 on in the 9th as the tying run, which is interesting. So, no, I don't know. I don't have much on Rocchio.
And then the last one I have here is just PCA 113.2 down to 111.5 this year. Still not too concerned with that.
Not too concerned either.
All right. Anything else on the boards here before we take a couple listener questions from the Discord?
No. Again, just kind of I feel like we hopefully appropriately painted context over some of these guys. Some of these guys we're not worried at all about. Other guys, it's like, given their injuries, given their history, their context, maybe we are a little bit more worried. So hopefully this was semi-useful in a time of year that's just really hard for fantasy because it's just not, there's not much actionable yet.
We don't like to overreact around here.
And we don't like to overreact around here.
So it doesn't really work. All right, listener questions here. Mailman Mike, is the velocity gains enough to buy into Randy Vasquez?
I mean, buy in, like, I don't, to what degree, but sure. Like I would see what we have here. Definitely.
Yes. Agreed. I'd have him on my roster. Maybe not pitch him this week, but wait for that Rocky start next week.
Yep. 100%.
His second question's off topic, and it kind of goes with Ben and my show from Monday.
Yep.
Have you seen the Charlie Sheen Netflix documentary?
I have not. So
I have.
Heard it's good.
For those that were wondering, and we had a big Estevez conversation. That Charlie Estevez and his dad Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen. There's his brother Emilio Estevez. The whole
which I did not know. I don't think I didn't know
Charlie Sheen. Yeah, we went through a whole Mighty Ducks tangent at one point because we were talking about Carlos Estevez, and you know how I operate on these shows. I can get lost down rabbit holes rather quickly, and that one occurred on Monday. So SMMS 79 says, can you envision a world where Hoskins gets more consistent playing time, or do you think that's unrealistic?
I don't think it's unrealistic. I would just like to see it happen because basically the days that Hoskins has not been starting, it's been Manzardo coming off DH and playing first. I feel like they could live in a world where Manzardo's full-time or they just switch first base and DH. Like the Guardians aren't that deep. So I'm stubbornly holding on to Rhys Hoskins in my Vegas auction, the 15-teamer, just because I think the power's there and he just needs the playing time.
I agree. I don't understand why he had those 3 days off in a row after starting the first 2. He was back in the lineup on Tuesday. Monday, he came out in like mid-game. He still had a couple at bats on Monday. Not sure what the deal is with Steven Vogt in the playing time, but yeah, I'd still believe I'd hold at least if you can, like Ryan's doing.
Yep.
Ross Hawk says DeLauder would have the 3rd largest increase if you include minor league data for prior max EV, or largest if you include his spring training max. So good to know. Chase DeLauder's
very good. Very good observation there. Maybe I should include minors, but I don't know. it's against minor league pitching. It's not the same.
Yeah, might as well put spring training in there as well.
Yeah. But no, it's a good point. That's a great point, Ross.
Canton Dog's question was answered, so that's good.
Have you been?
He just wanted me to say it. Just say Canton Dog.
Was that his question? Just say my name.
He said, just say Canton Dog, Casey Bubba. My question was answered. Have a nice night.
Heisenberg style.
BP says, I have Brady House and an NL only and like what he's doing in the extremely small sample. You guys like his game? Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, talked about him earlier, but yeah, certainly an NL only. I mean, in that format, playing time is paramount, and Brady House certainly has that, and it's looked looked very well in again a very small sample.
JD says in the chat here, Ryan, can we end the season now? And can I could be number 1 overall. Broken clocks right twice a day, so
listener league overall.
Which I got to get that fixed. That might not be accurate. So let me adjust a few things.
Because so our 12-team listener league somehow got looped in with the listener league overall. So we have a 12-team league mixed in with all 15 teamers, and I am near the bottom of my 12-teamer.
It's on my list of things to do. So that'll get changed here hopefully the next day or two. We'll get that fixed.
No, congrats on the early hot start there, JD.
Yes, congrats. Enjoy it. I remember when I was leading the overall draft champions last year after like 3 weeks, and then I didn't even cash. So, yeah, it's good times, but enjoy it while you can because you'll always have that picture, which I still do to this day.
Yep.
All right, Ryan, any final thoughts before we wrap up our first BloomBoard episode of the season?
No. We will get back at it with Fab week 3 on Thursday. So I don't have too much. Don't overreact, people. That's all I can say.
Don't overreact. I'm curious to see what comes up this week because we'll talk about it on Thursday, but kind of seeing a little clarity in some of the save situations over the last couple of days. But again, I'm ready to be told I'm wrong quickly on that one. But it seems like there's some things working their way out, but there's also some doors possibly opening as well. So that'll be another hot topic for the Fab Week plus 2 steps. Streams and much more. As most leagues were kind of quiet this week because they actually weren't overreacting, which was good to see. But we'll check all that out and much more on Thursday evening. But until then, check out Ryan on Twitter at RyanBHQ, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, on Patreon at patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. I'm BD Intric. This was Bubba and the Bloom, episode 334. Catch you all next time.